what I'd like to do now is just move over to some suggestions on how you could improve your downstream use. Better position yourself in industry. So make sure that the data that is reported is of high quality and able to be used by industry. And in some cases, that puts you at an advantage over your competitors. If you have good set of data, high quality, and so on. I'm going to leave this to Terry and Rich, since we are very fortunate to have them, guest speakers here, to talk about these particular topics. And just, are you able to fill us in on some of the things that manufacturers might do to position themselves, at a better place for industry?
I'll start off and then turn it over to Rich for
okay.
Just from a regulatory perspective. These could be check the box, submit accurate data, check for typos, check for values, comply with the data requirements in GUDID and all of those exceptions. And you could easily go through and make sure that you've done each and every one of these things. The reason Rich and I are, and I'm so happy that Gary asked us to join you, is that even when I was at FDA, we told manufacturers, please don't just check the box, that go beyond and understand, like, things that are optional may be important to users. If I have one regret about the GUDID rollout and what we included, it was catalog number and contact info. Those were two that I wish we had made required. Because matching old data to new is really important, and giving feedback to manufacturers is really important. I'll hand it over to Rich to talk about maybe some specifics in the hospitals.
Yeah. I think one big thing that we've heard over and over again, and maybe jumping down to that final bullet point, is hospitals want to give feedback to manufacturers. They would love to submit, like, hey, like, it would be great if we can knew this size of the product. We need it for XYZ reason. There's really not an avenue for that today. Obviously, you could reach out to like a generic email address or something, but certain manufacturers we've seen like really embrace that, putting the contact information and fielding questions from customers and updating the data. It's tremendously valuable for procurement in the hospital to make sure they're ordering correctly, the clinicians actually understanding what the products are, and when they're looking at it in a system to requisition something to a buyer, they can see what all of the different manufacturer options are, descriptions, how they're different from one another, and really pick what they need. So not to push too much, but I would have to imagine from a manufacturer's perspective that it's good to submit this information. It's essentially great marketing. Your data will be seen by hospitals. It'll be used in RFPs, procurement. It'll be appearing in hospitals' catalogs for adding to contracts and etc. So I really do think to voluntarily submit the data, make sure it's clean and good, an accurate representation of what's on the label, is definitely beneficial.
Now, we put together a rather aggressive timeline for the remaining 5 months. So there's some account setups here in the beginning. Those usually go pretty quickly, depending on your product identification standards that you use now. Hopefully you can use some that are already in place. If not, you'll need to subscribe to one of those issuing agencies and map your identifiers to those new standards, and then make sure you take care of the labeling aspect. And then there's this challenge of collecting data. We have seen 80% of your effort here is on collecting data, validating it, cleansing it to the business rules. And if you use electronic submissions and have a scheme to do that, the actual submission goes very quickly, and select a number of records, push a button to send, sort of thing. So that is not the most critical piece. we have found that the collecting the data, cleansing it, and meeting business rules is a largest part of your time. More than one resource, full-time equivalent sort of thing. So this becomes variable depending on the volume and the condition of your products. But this is what you want to focus on after you take care of some of these initial setups.